morning time for me, and I decided to take a shower in the morning because I'm doing a special hair treatment on my hair. So I thought I would share with you, actually let me take this off my ears because I feel like I'm screaming. I wanted to share with you my daytime hyperpigmentation, melasma, dark spots, sun damage, repairing routine. And this is a budget-friendly, more affordable type routine so that this way I can be kind to everyone's budget, but of course just use whatever is in your budget and whatever you like the best. So I have hyperpigmentation, but I specifically have melasma hyperpigmentation, and mine is triggered mostly from hormones, sun, heat, certain foods, and many different things. I have many other videos on melasma, but this is a perfect routine, especially now since we're into the fall in November, because I don't usually like to use these heavy hitting ingredients all summer long, especially if I'm in a hot area or at the beach. You can, but since melasma does not like heat, sometimes in the summer I like to keep my routine kind of basic, but since we're in November, you know, this is when a lot of people who don't have melasma go and get a bunch of peels and kind of remove all of that sun damage from their skin. If you're looking for something that you can do at home, that's budget friendly, that's what I'm gonna share with you. Now, if you wanna see what I do in the evening, I'll pop that other nighttime hyperpigmentation dark spot routine right here, but this is my morning routine. All right, now this is not super budget friendly, but I'm sharing it because this is something I actually did before I got in the shower. This is the Dr. Idris Major Fade. This is the flash mask. This is an exfoliating mask that you put on your face. And I don't use it, but maybe once, twice a week, if that, when I'm not using my all-time favorite Holy Grail exfoliating serum. But what I like to do with this, once a week, if I shower in the morning, on my skin that I woke up with, because for me, and since I do have melasma, a very rude, stubborn type of hyperpigmentation, melasma doesn't like intense ingredients that are gonna give you instant results, because melasma prefers things that are a little more gentle. So oftentimes for me, using a glycolic acid, a high strength glycolic acid, sure, the results might look really pretty at first, but then within like 30 days, it can create like hot spots deep within the skin, and then that melasma, that excess pigment, can start working its way to the surface, and then you're like, well, darn it, now I gotta do something else and try to get rid of these spots. But I found the best way for me to use this, because it is really potent and it really makes a difference in helping to brighten and help fade a lot of that excess pigment that's sitting on the surface of my skin. So I like to use this in the morning before I've even washed my face. I leave it on like 10-15 minutes, and then I will rinse it off and then do my gentle cleanser and then my whole morning routine. But since I was getting in the shower in the morning, I decided to use this and then just rinsed it off in the shower. This is not a step that you have to do, but using an acid on the skin, it's not gonna stop the pigment from forming deep down in the skin, but it's going to really make a difference if maybe you're looking at your skin and you're like, I wish I could just like scrub this off. You might just need an acid that's gonna chemically beat it off of your skin. And this really reveals beautiful, bright, healthy, glowing skin. I have nothing on my skin. I don't have ring lights. I'm just in the bathroom, and you know, the lighting I think is quite bright in here. But this is just my skin with nothing on it after using this mask before I got in the shower. Now, I know someone's gonna say, but I thought this was your favorite. This is my favorite. This is not as intense as this. This is more gentle. I could probably use this 4 to 5 times a week. It's my all-time favorite serum, and it's an exfoliator. It's got a different type of acid that goes inside the pore to clean them out and to make your pores look super small and snatched. And then it also has the glycolic acid, a very small amount that will help exfoliate the surface. This has a lot more glycolic in it, and then this has other ingredients that are really great for hyperpigmentation and melasma. So use whatever's in your budget. Actually, let me show you one other one. This is another one that is super inexpensive, and I mean, look how big this bottle is. This is from The Ordinary. This is their 7% glycolic acid exfoliating toner. I don't use this as a toner because to me, I think it's sticky and it annoys me. But what I like to do, especially now since we're in the fall and I'm not really wearing tank tops outside and my skin's protected, before I get in the shower, if I'm gonna do this type of hair treatment on my hair, and I know I'm gonna have more like a little spa day doing things, I will put this almost all over my body, especially on my shoulders, my arms, my chest. And while I'm leaving this mask on for 15 minutes on my face, I will have this super inexpensive mask on all over, mostly just my upper body and chest. But if you don't want to spend the money on this, you could just use this and put this all over your face. You don't have to rinse this off since it is a toner. Now this is a mask that you do rinse off. But again, I like to rinse this off after it's penetrated my skin for like 15 minutes because I just think it's sticky. Another way I like to use this is I have super soft feet because I use this on my feet at night before I put lotion on. Or once again, I'll use it kind of like a mask and then leave it on 15 minutes and rinse it off. So those are just some different options to hopefully meet everyone's budget. And if you want a non-budget friendly tip, using this Dr. Idris Flash Mask before you use your SkinMedica TNS. This is not budget friendly and it's not for everyone. That's why I do not share it all the time, but people ask me about it constantly because it is a holy grail of mine and it's a holy grail of many of yours. But since this is a growth factor serum, this is the SkinMedica TNS Advanced Growth Factor Serum. Growth factors are a larger molecule, so they have a little bit more difficult time penetrating. So if you have a bunch of layers of dull, dry skin on your face, using this mask, and then of course you're rinsing it off, and then using this as your very first step after you clean your face, this will help this penetrate even better into your skin. Now, I won't use this and leave it on and then go right in with this because you don't want to add an acid with your growth factor serum. But I actually learned this from watching Dr. Idris. She was saying to use this first and then of course wash it off and then try this. But this is not for melasma, hyperpigmentation. This is just really good if you're wanting to firm up your skin, if you want intense anti-aging. This is just the Mac Daddy, the greatest of all time of all growth factor serums. Again, this is not for everyone. And if you want a more budget friendly option, The Ordinary, the same brand that makes this glycolic acid, they do have their plant-based growth factor serum, which is under 20 bucks. This is really pricey, but the Ordinary one would be a great alternative. All right, so let's get into the really quick steps of what I do for my hyperpigmentation melasma dark spots right after I get out of the shower or right after I cleanse my face in the morning. And as far as face cleanser, use whichever one is in your budget and you like the best. Since I don't usually leave the face cleanser on my skin but for 30 seconds to a minute, you know, they're not gonna really do that much since I'm not leaving them on. So I just use affordable drugstore face cleansers. But for my very first step, I do this morning and night. I always use my Medik8. This is their Oxy-R peptides. This is the highest strength oxyresveratrol serum that I don't think there's anything stronger than this on the market. And this one's almost empty. It does come with 2 bottles, so that's a nice thing, but this is my second one already. So I need to order another one. And I just use maybe 1 or 2 drops on each cheek and then like 1 on my forehead. I'm not rubbing this dropper on. I'm just lazy and I like to just drop it on my face. Plus, since this is like water, if I put it on my fingers, I feel like it drips through and I'm wasting it. So that's why I just put it directly on my skin. Now, this is probably the only step as far as hyperpigmentation, melasma, dark spot, sun damage type removal that is not as affordable as everything else. And honestly, I don't have a dupe for this. There is no dupe for this because there's just nothing else like this on the market. But if this is not in your budget, don't freak out. The other products I'm going to show you will probably do a great job as well. But for me, since I see such remarkable results with this, I've been using this now ever since it came out, the past year or 2. And I mean, I can't even count how many times I've bought this. I love it that much. And since it's such a watery thin texture, everything layers beautifully over top of it. And the before and afters on this, they are just so impressive. It's just a holy grail product that I use pretty much in every single skincare routine. And that only took a second to soak in, and I can jump right into my very next step. My very next step that is great to help break up that melasma, hyperpigmentation, sun damage is this product from MELASMA. This is their Fade Away Brightening Serum. I love this stuff so much. It has this really unique green color to it, and that's just the botanical ingredients that are in it. But this has a ton of different ingredients that are going to penetrate into the skin and break up that pigment that is on our face. I like this because it's almost a one and done serum that has a bunch of the ingredients that I look for in my hyperpigmentation type products. This has your kojic acid, it has alpha-arbutin. It just has great ingredients that work well together. And then over time, you can really start to see that pigment breaking up and your skin getting brighter and brighter and brighter. And I love this texture. It's kind of like a thicker than water, almost gel texture, but once it soaks into the skin, First of all, my skin feels super hydrated, but I'm able to layer other products easily over this because it's not like a thick, heavy cream. That's why I don't often use in like my melasma hyperpigmentation skincare routines. That's why I don't often use thick, heavy creams, because then once you put it on, you just really can't layer a bunch of other things with it. And you're probably thinking, well, why would I have to layer a bunch of products? Because don't you normally talk about doing like a 1, 2, 3 step skincare routine? Yes, I do. I love super easy peasy 1, 2, 3 step skincare routines. But if you have actual melasma, like what I have, using those 1, 2, 3 step skincare routines, those really aren't gonna get you that far with removing the pigment. Put a 1 step, 2 step skincare routine, still hydrate your skin, still moisturize, still protect your skin, and pretty much give us, you know, the basics of what we need, sure. But when you have all of this sun damage and dark spots and hyperpigmentation and melasma, you just need a few more steps than just an easy 1 or 2 step skincare routine, unfortunately. But of course, if this skincare routine is too many steps for you, just don't do it. Just do whatever skincare routine works best for you. You don't have to use all these steps. This is just what I found works best for me. And you're probably saying, but you don't have a ton of dark melasma and spots all over your face. I mean, I do have a little bit. I have this one like sunspot. My melasma is right here, and then it also runs like around here. But my melasma has faded so much because I've shown this picture many times before. This is what my skin looked like, I would say, I think 6, 7, 8 years ago. So doing a melasma type skincare routine has really taken my skin from that to this. I mean, look at how plump and glowy my skin already is just from using the second serum. And again, because I did this intense glycolic mask before I jumped in the shower today, it really helped exfoliate any of that dead stuff just sitting on the surface of my skin. So that's why all of these ingredients that I'm using are penetrating even better and my skin's looking even glowier. For my next step in the morning, I always use my all-time favorite Holy Grail Vitamin C Serum. This is from the brand Medik8. This is their Super C Ferulic Serum. But even though this is my all-time favorite Holy Grail, doesn't break me out, doesn't irritate my skin, brightens my skin. Like the before and afters on this are so remarkable. This is the best vitamin C serum I have ever used, in my opinion. And if you struggle with using vitamin C serum, if you're like, no, vitamin C's break me out, they irritate my skin, I'm totally the same. L-ascorbic vitamin C acids are like poison on my skin in higher strengths. The lower strength is fine, but of course I don't see as much brightening as I do with the higher strength. But after a good week of using a high strength L-ascorbic vitamin C, my skin, I get cystic acne. It burns, irritates my skin. And if you already have hyperpigmentation and melasma, now you're dealing with that inflammation and irritation, and then your melasma and pigment is just gonna get darker and blotchier all over your skin. So I still wanna use something that is so ridiculously high strength, but one that is not irritating. This is a different form of vitamin C, and it's a stabilized form, but it's so high strength, and this, it's my favorite. Again, I cannot count how many of these that I've purchased either. I've been using this exact same product for a couple years. But since this is a budget-friendly routine, this is not super budget-friendly in my opinion, even though I have a discount code and all of that. But to save you as much money as possible, if the Medik8 is not in your budget, this newer one from Cetaphil, I'm actually quite impressed with this. This is their new vitamin C serum, but it's also a stabilized form of vitamin C, the same kind that's in here. It's not as high strength, but not only does this have the stabilized vitamin C in it, that's not gonna cause me to break out, have irritation, burning, redness, but this also has a couple additional ingredients in it very high up that are for hyperpigmentation. It's funny because when I bought it, I saw, okay, it's the vitamin C that I like for my skin that doesn't cause breakouts. And then I saw on the front, it says it has niacinamide and sunflower seed oil, and I thought, okay. But when I turned it over and I read the ingredients, I'm like, oh my goodness, they actually have 2 other ingredients that they're not even mentioning in their marketing because people probably have never heard of them. But there are 2 other ingredients high up in the ingredients list that can potentially help break up dark spots, hyperpigmentation, melasma. So for me, I'm like, this is a no-brainer for a more affordable vitamin C serum, especially if you have irritation from L-ascorbic, and especially if you have dark spots, sunspots, melasma, and all that good stuff. So instead of me using this one from Medik8, I'm gonna use this one because I think that this is fantastic, especially if you're on a budget. Also, this has no fragrance in it. That's another thing with melasma. Some of my products do have fragrance. My face products do have fragrance, but I don't use a ton of products with a lot of fragrance, only because any type of irritation can trigger that melasma to get a little more inflamed, and inflammation will lead to that darkening pigment. So just think anything that's irritating your skin. If you're ever like, oh my gosh, this product, it burns and stings so bad, and you like have to have a fan because it's so intense, that might not be that good for melasma. Maybe if you just have basic dark spots or hyperpigmentation, but with melasma, typically that means it's creating those hot spots, and give it a month or two, and then you're gonna start seeing more pigment come to the surface, because it takes time, obviously, for our skin cells to turn over, and that pigment that's starting deep down in the skin takes time for it to come to the surface. The same thing with like a red light mask. People keep asking me, do you use red lights? Do you do microneedling? I don't do any of that, because I do have very intense melasma when it's not being maintained properly. Those red light masks will make your skin, now if you have hyperpigmentation or sunspots, this does not apply to you. But if you have true melasma, and just go to the dermatologist, they'll let you know if it's true melasma if you're not sure. Just because you have spots on your face does not mean it's melasma. But true melasma, when you use those red light masks, most of them, your skin's gonna look so pretty the first few days, the first week, the first 3 weeks. Give it a couple months, that pigment deep down in the skin does not like that heat that's penetrating in many of those masks. And in a couple months, you'll be like, what the heck? My skin was looking perfect. Now I got spots everywhere. So just beware of a lot of things that everybody's hyping up. I don't use any devices on my skin, you guys. I mean, I shave my face, that's about it. But I don't use any red light. I don't do microneedling. I don't do anything like that. I don't go get peels. I've never had laser on my face. I mean, I've had hair removal laser on my body, but never anything to my face, because I treat my melasma like with so much respect, because I don't want to anger it. And I've just learned, I'm 53 years old, I've just learned what works best for my melasma. And those devices, yes, I've tried all of them. It's like a nightmare for my melasma. I always like to go one step further in my morning and evening routine, and this is a very affordable, this is honestly a hidden gem that no one talks about. I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk about this. This is from The Ordinary. This is my all-time favorite product that The Ordinary even sells. This is their alpha-arbutin 2% hyaluronic acid serum. Now, you're never gonna see me just going and buying or ever hyping up a basic hyaluronic acid serum, because honestly, hyaluronic acid is in like almost every single skincare product that we use. And I just think you're wasting your money if you just buy a single hyaluronic acid serum. But the reason I love this one so much, and by the way, I bring everything down my neck and chest, but I'm just doing it on my face for purposes to make this video easier, but I do like to bring it all down my neck and chest. But the reason I love this hyaluronic acid serum so much is because it has the alpha-arbutin 2%, a very high strength of alpha-arbutin, and you're probably thinking, well, what is alpha-arbutin? It is a great ingredient to help combat and break up that melasma and the pigment and help fade the spots on our skin. Now, using this by itself, you're probably gonna be like, I used 2 bottles and saw no results, because you probably won't, because unfortunately, you have to layer, you know, 2, 3, 4 different products, usually, if you have true melasma or really stubborn pigment. And I honestly, that's frustrating. But like I said, at 53 years old, I've learned that I can't just use that one product that says it's great for hyperpigmentation, because there's different ways that pigment can be formed, and there's different ingredients that can block that pigment in different ways. All the ingredients, they kind of do something different. It's kind of like eating a bunch of fruits. Yeah, they're all fruits, but they all kind of do different things in our body and give us different nutrients to help with different things. And that's kind of like what a bunch of these types of ingredients that block those enzymes that will make that pigment even darker. So I love this one so much because I really like alpha-arbutin mixed in with my melasma skincare routine. But since this is a high strength, the hyaluronic acid that's in here is kind of like a delivery system that's gonna help this alpha-arbutin get even deeper in my skin. But what I love about this, and the reason I just use it all the time, is because this adds so much hydration. It just kind of takes my skin to that next level. So if you look in the mirror and you're like, I just feel like my wrinkles are just so visible and I look like I'm dehydrated and just dried out, You guys, this is, I think this is like $8, $8.85 right now. It's so affordable. This is the perfect hidden gem. Even if you don't have pigment on your skin, maybe you just want to brighten your complexion, but you want that loads of hydration, this is phenomenal, and it is so inexpensive. Now, I never put on any type of a hyaluronic acid serum without putting a moisturizer on over top, because I want something to kind of seal it in. I don't want that moisture, the hydration to be drawn out of my skin, since there's no barrier over top of this, because this is not a moisturizer, this is just a hydrator. Think about if you're thirsty, you're not gonna go drink olive oil or Crisco, you're gonna go drink water. That's what this does. This is like a big drink of water for the skin, but depositing those pigment fighting ingredients down into our skin at the same time. So at the end, I'll always put on whatever moisturizer, or when I'm being lazy, since I've already done 3 or 4 steps, I will just use my moisturizing sunscreen. This is a tinted sunscreen from the brand Dermatology. The most important thing that I have to mention, you can buy all of these products. Matter of fact, you could buy a ton of expensive products that will treat melasma and hyperpigmentation, but if you are not using a sunscreen every day, you don't have to use this one. Use whatever your favorite sunscreen is. But if you're not using a sunscreen every day and reapplying, none of these products are gonna work, because we can't repair our skin if we're not protecting our skin every day. So that's it for my easy, even though it's a few steps extra than what I normally do, for my easy hyperpigmentation melasma skincare routine that I like to do during the day. Again, if you want to see my nighttime hyperpigmentation and melasma routine, I will pop that video up here if you'd like to click on it and check it out. I'll see you in the next video.